We're the Plotaholics, ripping plots apart for you.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to some very special South by Southwest coverage with the Plotaholics. I'm Shane Wilson. I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Brian Tan.
Hey-o.
Today, Brian, we are talking with the director / star of a short film that showed at this year's South by Southwest Virtual Film Festival on Amazon. And I should have asked her how to say her last name just to make sure, but Chelsea Devantez is how I would say it, and I'm an expert. So let's bring in Chelsea.
Well,
Chelsea,
you are a teacher. Well, you are a teacher.
You are correct. That's exactly how you say it.
Perfect. Yeah, I do
Nice.
get a lot of practice calling out names off of rosters. So I'm sorry?
You're really a teacher?
Yeah, I teach college.
I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
I was hoping it was like first grade or something cute, but college is
No.
good.
Yeah, it's something cute. I feel like that would just be infuriating all the time.
Well, I used to be like a tutor, like for after school programs, and it has its moments, but then after a while, it's like, ugh, when are your parents coming? Ugh. I tried saying that to my son once, and he goes, "But you're my parent." I'm like, shit. Got me.
Chelsea, I was looking at your about page on chelseadevantez.com.
Thank you for the plug.
Yes, absolutely. And I have to tell you, this part I loved so much, and I wanted to read it while you were here so I could see your face.
Okay.
While on the main stage, the press called her, quote, the Michael Jordan of the cast. Quote,
Nice.
An even more fearless version of Tina Fey who could totally outdrink you and kick your ass, and part Amy Schumer, part Gilda Radner.
Damn.
How does that feel when you start to get that kind of accolade?
I mean, it felt amazing. It's the best thing that's ever been said about me in my life. I will say this. I did 3 Chicago Second City main stage shows. I did not get those quotes the first 2 shows. Like the first 2 shows, they were like, nah, she's fine. And then the third show, these fucking bangers came in, and I was like, it's time to leave. This is my last show. I'm going out on a bang. Like, even now when I read them, I'm like, I can't believe someone said that about me. Like it's like taking a Adderall or something. It's a little boost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I would have to read that every day.
Seriously.
I should probably. My days might go better.
Right. I
Now,
feel like I've been waiting my whole life for somebody to tell me that I'm a more fearless Tina Fey.
I just want someone to compare me to somebody that's not the Grimace or the Nutty Professor. Now, Chelsea, are you from Chicago?
I'm not from Chicago. I am from all over the Southwest. I grew up, I moved around a lot growing up, but we landed in New Mexico. That's kind of where I call home. It's the final destination point. And then I went to New York for college. Then I went to Chicago for comedy, went back to New York for a job, and then moved to LA, which is where I live.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's awesome.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
that's
how
cool.
would you describe your time with Second City? That whole enterprise is just kind of mind blowing. The talent that comes out of there. How would you describe that time?
That time period saved my life. And a lot of people have a lot of like gripes of like institutionalizing comedy or making like, I don't know, a formula for it and the things the theater has to work on. However, for me, like getting to move to a place that was affordable, like I was a waitress and you could get rent, you could pay your classes on that. And then there was a ton of people who also wanted to study comedy. They were also starting out. Everyone needed friends. Everyone was a lonely loser. Like it was the best. Like I made all my friends. And then I just had like a place to Chicago. You could just like, you can perform in like sandwich shops. So I mean, like we were like in basements for our shows until finally like you get better. And then Second City is like this magical place that actually pays you for doing comedy and improv, which is like still crazy to me, even though they pay you $100 a show before taxes. So like you definitely would make a better living doing anything else. However, you can like make a living. And then, I mean, I did everything at Second City. I was on a cruise ship for them. I was in a van touring around the country for them. And then I finally did their main stage shows. And like, you know, it's full of drama, but it like made me the comedian I am and like gave me a place to like put myself when I was trying to break in.
You know, it's funny when you talk about how they pay. That sort of gives me a flashback to Rocky after he fought Spider Rico. Balboa, winner, $100 minus shower, taxes, towels, doctor.
Yeah, seriously, where you make like 2 cents and he just like got his ass kicked all night.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what it's like.
I feel like comedy's probably a lot like that. I feel like in a lot of ways you just get your ass kicked all night.
You definitely get your emotional ass kicked all night long. All night long, you just go through, you know, getting a laugh, not getting a laugh, getting a laugh, not getting a laugh. And then, yeah, they give you $70 and some chicken wings and you go home.
Wow. See, I had to pay for, I didn't get chicken wings. I did one open mic night here in Pittsburgh. And I think people gave me sort of pity chuckles, I think. Sure. And then I was like, oh, well, at least I got a chuckle now to go have a beer.
Yeah.
You know, improv has the equivalent of open mic nights, which are those like sandwich shop shows, but like I had to eat shit for years before I was eating chicken wings.
Doesn't it feel a little bit, I mean, I'm sure that some audiences feel much more hostile. Like you have to kind of win them over. They're there with a sort of a chip on their shoulder in some ways.
Oh, 100%. Especially, you know, when I was, maybe it's better now, I'm not really sure. But when I was first starting out, like coming out with like long hair, lipstick on, the lights come up and people are like, boo, bitch. Like you're going to play like the girlfriend and like some dumb idiot the whole show. And so I knew which pieces they would finally change their mind about me, but I would have to work up to it. Whereas somebody who fit like a more classic comedy stereotype, the audience would love them from the beginning. They'd get laughs and laughs. And I would just be like grinding for like 9 minutes until it turned. And they were like, all right, maybe she's not a bitch. And we'll start.
So what was I refer to this as the Bernie Mac moment. And
I love where he said, I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah, where he just walked right out on Def Comedy Jam. I ain't afraid of you, motherfucker. Did you have a Bernie Mac moment?
Yeah, you know what? Definitely. It definitely took me years though, because you know, you have so much fear, especially when you're improvising, where you're like, oh my God, is it gonna be good? I think it happened on the cruise ship actually, where like you're just improvising so many shows over and over again for these like drunk people. And there came a moment where I was like, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. And then I became actually funny.
Yeah.
And before then, I was probably touch and go.
Yeah. Did you have a lot of sort of like fallback positions where you would you knew that this was a safe bit, so you would kind of go back to the well a little bit?
Yeah, it's tough because you're definitely taught early on that that's like shticky and not true improv. So I think I always had a shame about it, but I think you definitely do that, especially in fearful situations of like, I'm trying to think. I feel like playing a grandma or something where you're like, I'll be a grandma. Maybe that'll work. It definitely, I had stuff like that.
I always think about that scene from The Office where Michael Scott goes to improv, and every sketch he's in, he like pulls out the gun and just shoots everybody.
Yeah, I love that.
So you are currently the executive story editor for Bless This Mess. Is that correct?
That's right.
What is that like? That's a network job.
That's a network job, baby. That's money.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, it's great. It's the it's the dream. You know, it's like what I was working for this whole time. It took like 12 years to finally get here, but it's what was that? Was that music?
I think that was a baby on Brian's end.
It was either a baby or a cat, because in my the back room is / staging area for wedding stuff / my son's room when he's here / my office / where the cats eat.
Oh my God, you're running a whole operation.
Yeah, but then my granddaughter's here, so I'm a 40-year-old grandpa. and she likes to come in and visit like all the time. She likes to like bat at my microphone. She likes to strum my bass and punch on my heavy bag.
Bring her in.
All right. So I just sent her the text to let her know,
Okay.
open the door and bring her in. So
Gotcha.
but
Yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about.
We're talking about
we were
Bless This
talking about the
Mesh.
show, Bless This Mesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, being in a TV writer's room is it's a ton of work. It's mostly work, but it's also can be very fun.
So is that your writer's room?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the writer's room I belong to. So there's like, 12 of us, and we write.
Yeah. So as executive story editor, oh, here we go.
Wow.
Yeah, there she is. Come here, Addie. This is Adeline, and that's Sharon.
Sharon, nice to
Hi,
meet
everybody.
Say, you want to blow kisses? Say, mwah. She's like, that doesn't look normal.
Not sure. Whoa, she's thinking hard.
She is.
Hi, Adeline. You're very cute.
Say thank you. Oh. Can you say hi? Say hi.
Hi, Adeline. Hello.
She don't like the headphones.
Like,
No, she doesn't
too
dig the
much.
headphones. Hi.
Oh, she's very cute.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She likes to dance to Mickey Mouse Club when the song comes on. When I go out, I'll pick her up, we'll dance to it.
Bangers, though, so.
See it from her shirt. She's a true fan.
Oh, she loves to dance to DuckTales too.
Oh,
Oh my God. How cute are you?
Awesome.
Meet my baby, which is this dog.
Aww. That's a
That's
chill dog right there.
yeah,
Chill. That's why I'm petting off screen.
yeah.
Oh,
He
okay.
is one of mine is back here.
Ivy.
Oh.
That one's Snow.
Oh, that's Snow.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Snow, the cat, and Ivy is the dog, and she's a little Chihuahua, and she's sleeping in the giant beanbag in the next room.
So let me ask you this: do you get to hang out with Dax Shepard at all?
Yeah,
He seems like the coolest dude ever.
totally. Yeah, he's got a phenomenal podcast as well. So, yeah, he's fantastic.
Because I remember, I really started to get. I was introduced to him in like different shows or whatever, but I would watch The Ranch because he had the hardest job, I think, to come in and take over as the second guy since Danny Masterson was off of the show. He had the most unenviable job, but I think he did an amazing job because he really brought that charm of him to it, which he does with everything. So he just seems like the coolest dude ever just to be
He's
around.
so talented.
Wasn't Dax Shepard one of Ashton Kutcher's henchmen on Punk'd?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I
Yes,
thought
he
so.
was.
Yeah.
As much as I hated HBO, as much as I hated MTV, I loved watching Punk'd because
Okay.
Great.
yeah, especially when since I'm from Pittsburgh, when Jerome Bettis hit the guy and he really thought he was hurt. Oh, yes.
I wanted to ask you about the writing process for a season of television. You get a season order of episodes, I guess, before you start writing, and so then you plan out the arc of the season. So how do you decide who writes which episodes, or do you guys just kind of all workshop that stuff together?
No, the showrunner decides everything. So
Okay.
Liz Merriweather is the showrunner of the show. She was the showrunner of New Girl. She kind of plots out the arc for the season, whether it's collaborating with people or she already knows it or has it. And then she decides who writes each episode. Sometimes I don't really know what everyone's process is different, but a showrunner could decide based on like, oh, this episode, this thing you're an expert in, or this was your idea for an episode, so why don't you write it? Or just sometimes they go in order of your title and the
Right.
rank. So it could be anything.
So have you guys been renewed for the fall?
No, we're waiting on our renewal for
Ooh. So
How stressful is that
Yeah.
to like have to like wait for that? Because I know as a fan of certain shows, I'm like, all right, when am I going to know if it's going to be renewed? I need more. I need more. So that's got to be even more stressful.
I would say it's extremely stressful, except that's just how the business is in every moment of it. So I feel like I've been in this process of waiting to see if my life is going to be good or not for 12 years. And so now I'm a little dead to it. And I just kind of have to have the belief of like, whatever happens, it's going to be okay. But like, if I think about it too long, like it's so stressful. It's like, are we going to be able to write our show? Are we going to be able to finish the season? Will I have a job? Like all that stuff comes in.
You know, being a writer for television shows, was that your end game? Was that your, yeah, I'm doing stand up. This is great, but what I'd really like to do is get a job writing in TV. Is that where the thought process went? Or
no, but only because I grew up in like small towns, and my worldview was kind of sheltered. I wouldn't even have known this was a job to have it as a dream. Right. I knew I wanted to be in entertainment. And then once I got to college, I knew I only wanted to do comedy. And then, but when you make that decision, you're like, I guess the only comedy job is SNL. Like I had no idea what was available and that you could direct and you could write and you could do all these things. I will say once I became a TV writer, I was like, oh, this is the job I've wanted my whole life. But yeah. I just didn't know it. I didn't know what it was like. And it wasn't really advertised as something that women do. Right. You know what I mean? Like you see writers' rooms like full of dudes. And it's only kind of changed lately. So I just didn't even know to aspire to it.
Cool.
So let's talk about Basic.
Oh God, I love Basic so much. I'm sitting here, I'm like laughing my ass off. I'm watching on like a Saturday morning because I always wake up early because sleep is what's that. And I just started howling and I'm like, oh, I'm going to wake up the whole building and Sharon and I'm probably going to get yelled at, but I just didn't care. It was so much fun.
Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. Thank you. So glad you guys
was it. Most excellent. And I think what I liked about it is that because it's so short, I think it clocks in at right around 4 minutes.
It's actually 3 minutes and it's 4 minutes with the intro.
Gotcha. Yeah. So 3 minutes. So it feels in hindsight like a really good setup and a punchline. It feels like one really well delivered joke.
It really did.
And
it really did.
What makes it so great is that the setup leads, I think, at least for me, the viewer to anticipate one punchline, but then the punchline that we get is completely different.
Yes.
That's great. Yes, that is what I intended. And it was tough too, because even with the title, Basic, the teaser, the poster, I had to hide what the film was really about. So it really makes you think it's going to be some dumb social media movie about being yourself.
Well, and I also really love the synopsis that you provided for this film as well, because it also refuses to give anything away.
That's true.
and I'll tell you something right now. For me, one of my biggest sins for anything film is if your trailer or your synopsis gives away too much, I will instantly check out. Yeah. Case in point, Terminator Genesis. As soon as I saw they gave everything away in the trailer, I said, screw it. I'm done. I'm not even going to bother.
Of course.
I love going into things not knowing what to expect. And kudos. And I told you this on Twitter, but I got to say it again. I thought I was the only person that referred to people as trash cans. I was like, he's thinking it's me.
That's so funny. I love that.
Because I do it all the time.
Yeah, a lot of people with trash cans.
Chelsea, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about just the genesis of this idea and what the development of this short film looked like. Where did the idea come from? Like, how did you know that this is the way you wanted to present this idea?
Well, so for a while, I'd had this idea where I wanted to have a narrator to a story be revealed to be an unreliable narrator, and they were the person looking at your social media, and that's why they're narrating your story. So I'd had that for a while, but I was like, I'm not really sure what exactly it is. And then one night, a girl that my boyfriend went on 3 dates with, like some amount of years ago, went through my Twitter and deep liked a tweet that was a year old. And so I just got this notification that she'd liked this tweet from 2018, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I went to her page, and then I was like, went through everything to the point where I was like, I had saved a recipe I wanted to try. She retweeted great articles. I was like, and then in that moment, I was like, "Oh, this is a relationship between me and her, and it's not even about the boyfriend anymore. And then that other idea I'd already had, they came together, and then I wrote it that night, and I shot it 3 weeks later.
Nice.
No.
And so how do you end up with this cast? Of course, you play 1/3 of it, but
Yes.
How do you end up with the other two?
So when I wrote the script, I was like, who I had already written, like, I'm just a dumb little hoe. And I was like, who is that so funny, like seeing a picture of them with that over them? And I immediately pictured Georgia, who's like so expressive and she's so stunning. And I also really wanted it to be someone like blonde and like beautiful, who you can easily project, shit onto. And so and also Georgia's the kindest, nicest, most genuine, like incredible human in the world. So having her play this character really made me laugh. And so then I was trying to think of the boyfriend, and I first thought of my own boyfriend, who's also a comedian writer, but I wanted someone different for it. And then I realized it should be Nelson, who is Georgia's real life husband.
Oh, wow. Really?
Mm-hmm.
I love him on Blackish. Oh my God.
I've loved him on everything I've ever seen.
I love him on every. I mean, every time I watch Blackish, I'm like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs his own spinoff.
Yeah, it's so phenomenal. And also, like, them being married, like, shot within just a handful of hours. You know, it was just like easy and casual, and shooting the romantic stuff between them is like so easy because they're married. So like asking them to kiss is like, you know what I mean? It's not like,
all right, guys, just kiss, okay? Just you know what?
Just kiss?
Yeah, but you know, where like their body language and stuff, they just look so in love, which is because they are. So it's very to put on screen for the story I had.
Yeah, that was, and I think that it's something that everyone is guilty of at some point, of sitting up late at night, going through social media timelines of people that we have no business stalking at this point.
Mm-hmm. I've done it.
So interesting, it's so fascinating,
and it's so basic.
I see what you did there.
It's like this basic instinct within all of us, and also it's a shameful instinct that is basic as hell.
Yeah. So what did it mean to you to have this accepted into South by Southwest?
I mean, of course, like your whole life, you're like, oh my God, what if one of my films, this is the 7th thing I've directed and written. And to think that like, oh, something could get in South by Southwest is like all you ever want. But I did not expect it at all, to the point that I gave our premiere away to another festival because I was like, we got into this other wonderful festival and I was so excited. I was like, great, we'll premiere there. And then 3 hours later, South by Southwest was like, would you like to have a world premiere here? And I was like, I already gave it to someone else. I did not think I'd hear from you.
Oh, man.
And then I went to the orientation. They shared that 6,000 short films applied for the amount they chose. And so that's like the Michael Jordan quote where you're like, oh my God, it really feels life-changing.
Well, and then to have that, what was accepted into the physical festival to be whittled down even more for what they did over Amazon Prime, you know, because of the cancellation, like to be involved in that even smaller number of.
Yes, well, I will say that that wasn't a special selection. That was, they were like, would anyone in South by Southwest like to be on Prime? And I was like, absolutely.
Yeah,
duh. It's a small selection because, you know, the features, they're doing something different than the short films. They're trying to get distribution. They're trying to get funding. Yeah. They put it up for free on Amazon Prime. How are they going to make money off their films? Stuff like that. So, and then other short films are holding out to still have their world premiere and stuff like that. And so that's why it's a small selection. But I wish it was because I was very special.
Well, clearly you are very special. You are the Michael Jordan of the Second City cast. And you are more fearless Tina Fey.
Yeah. So I think that means then that when you get the award, you need to do like a Jordan-esque pose. So if they make a special sneaker for comics, it'll be your silhouette.
Yeah.
Mine I suggest.
Well, I love it. I mean, a sneaker for comics is so horrifying, but that's very funny.
Air Devantez, but
there you go.
You have to hold the microphone like this, right? Like
That's hilarious.
What is on the docket other than waiting to see if Bless This Mess gets renewed? What else do you have in the works?
I have the feature version of Basic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have a couple other features I
Same
wrote.
cast?
Yeah, I hope so.
Excellent.
Yes.
I'm
And-
here for a feature version of Basic.
Oh, hells yeah. Hells yeah.
And then this is really exciting. It's kind of a secret. I probably shouldn't talk about it, but I have a really fire tweet coming out later. You guys, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
This is an exclusive. It's an exclusive. You heard it here first. Fire tweet coming later.
Coming. Maybe in a week. Who knows?
Mad likes, mad retweets are on the horizon.
Woo!
Now, the next time you decide to cut your bangs during quarantine, do you think you'll live stream that somewhere?
Well, here's the thing. I already made a film about the last time, so you can go see it on my Instagram. You can see how it picked up. That was 3 weeks ago. They're back now. But I ordered some professional scissors, and I will go again, and I will live stream it just for you guys.
Love it.
Nice.
Next time.
O'Brien, anything else for Chelsea Devantez?
You know what? The one thing that I'm wondering for, for a short film of that magnitude, about how long does it take to really like shoot that? Is that just something where it's like, all right, we're knocking this out in like a lunch break, or does it take, or like how much time does it take for that?
I will say it probably could take a day. However, I did it with a crew of 3 people total, which is not the norm for a short for anything. You just can't really do it with 3, but you can. So I did it with 3 people. So we did it probably in like 5 or 6 hours for 2 days. So one day was 5 hours with just Georgia and Nelson. And then the second day was just me in the bedroom. And we just took our sweet ass time. Like, how we had to do it, it could probably be like 2 hours. But, we were blocking out the windows. We were trying different lights. We just tried a bunch of things to see which light effect we wanted to go with. And so we just took a long time with that. And then with Georgia and Nelson, we used natural sunlight. And Georgia ran around. She shot all her scenes within the course of 4 hours. And then Nelson came and joined us, and we shot the rest of his.
See, I know nothing about any like things like that. I understand that it takes time, and I get it. But for me, I'm just the guy that just sits there. I'm gonna watch this and I'm gonna dissect what I enjoy.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I have no clue what the time it takes.
Yeah, it depends. Like if I had a 20-person crew, that whole film could probably be 6 or 7 hours because it is so short.
Mm-hmm.
But also lighting's probably the biggest part. It's like you need direct sunlight for Georgia. You need the evening for some of their shots. And then you don't need direct sunlight for Georgia. It actually would have been better if we'd shot it in the morning over a week, like 1 hour, but we didn't. We did it in broad ass sunlight that we dealt with. And then, so that's probably the biggest thing to contend with. And had we had like a sound stage and shit like that, we could have faked all our lighting, but it was all natural. It was all free. So we had to go with nature.
Well, see, and I think that's awesome too, because I mean, obviously, if you're the writer and you're directing it, you're going to want to make sure that how you see it in your head is projected outward as well. So we sort of have an idea of what you're seeing internally when you conceptualized it. And I mean, I know I get mad. I'll read over stuff that I've written, and if it's not exactly how it was in my head, I'm like, this is crap.
Okay, but you also have to get over that because in my head, I wanted that pineapple scene to take place in this beautiful park. And when we got there, there was a concert taking place again, because I was shooting this for free. So there was a concert there and we were like, oh God, we only had Nelson and Georgia for another half hour. So we pulled over into the parking lot, restaged it in the parking lot, handed them the pineapple. And now it's like my favorite scene in the film, and it is absolutely not what I wrote. I wrote something beautiful. So I do think there's like a lot of good to come from mistakes. A lot of great comes from collaboration and from last minute improv. Because I was like, oh fuck, what are we gonna do? And the AD was just like, let's use the trunk of the car to like come in front of him to reveal her. It's like that's someone else's thought and not my beautiful park shot I had planned, and it all came together great.
So what are some of the specific challenges that you're facing now that you're trying to adapt that idea into a full-length feature?
Getting someone to give me money.
I have that trouble too.
So is there a GoFundMe somewhere where people can throw money at you?
No, I promised I did a Kickstarter for my very first project I ever did. I promised myself I would never do it again. I would always find a way to do it myself, which is also why I do it for free and with 3 people, because I'm paying for it myself. But I'm just waiting for like a producer or someone to come on and give me the goddamn money, because you guys, the script is great. It's ready to go. I know what I'm gonna do. It's gonna blow fucking minds.
See, I can't wait. And hey, if you need a fat guy just to be like a lump on the ground,
all right, you're my dude.
yes,
That's right.
I can play it a very convincing lump.
Well, certainly someone out there will help finance this movie, because if
they got brains, they will.
Yeah, if the script is anything like the short,
I feel confident. I feel excited. I think it's coming. But if you guys send your thoughts and prayers, it'll become real.
Oh, you got our thoughts and prayers.
Oh, absolutely. Because like I said, I watched. We had a listing of stuff for day 1 and day 2, and Basic was my favorite. And that's I'm not even. I don't bullshit. I say what I think, and that's just me. And it was my favorite. I love the fact it got right to the point. And the one thing that I really loved is like, it's like 3 minutes, but it didn't feel like a rushed 3 minutes. Episode 9, I felt like they just rushed through the whole thing and was like, here you go, it's over. I got more out of the 3 minutes of Basic than I did out of episode 9, and that's no bullshit.
Oh man, thank you so much. Well, your guys' nice tweets are what made me want to come on this podcast and keep it real. And also that means a lot to me, because I also value like fucking getting to the point, like getting to a laugh, like saying something like, if shit is too slow, your girl's out.
It was punchy, and I too enjoyed the shit out of it, and knew that I would, because of the description. I thought whoever wrote this wrote a good 3-minute movie. I'm here for it. So
thank you.
Thank you so much. All the time, it's like, dude, this is pretty short. I've got to see what sort of punch is packed in 3 minutes. And then I was unconscious because
I'll tell you, Chelsea, that Mr. Tan here has been skeptical of the power of the short film, but he's coming around on it, partly thanks to your film.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. Well, listen, you have to come around to short films because they're cheap.
That's true.
I love them.
Yeah, I've been converted. I've definitely been converted.
So tight. That is so tight.
Because I hate short stories as far as written word short stories. Like I can't read comic books anymore because I get so mad that it ends so quick.
Sure.
And then I have to wait. But short film, it's like, you come into it, you get it done, we go home. It's like,
that's
perfect.
Right. That's right.
Perfect.
Oh man, thank you.
Well, Chelsea, you can reach Chelsea over on the Instag and the Tweet Machine. You can also, I think you can watch Basic on the website, right?
You can. On the website has a link to Vimeo, and it'll take you to Vimeo. So even when it's not on Amazon Prime, it'll be on the website.
Yeah, because I think that today we're filming this on May the 6th. I think today is actually the last day that they're doing Prime stuff. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna rush over there and watch it one more time before my work meeting at 4. Because I'm gonna need something to hold on to before my boss starts getting into his whole
thing. Give me those clicks. Give me those comments. I want some faves, Brian.
That's right. Now, do you guys get any sort of any change for the streams that you get on Amazon?
I don't know, but I hope we do. They won't release.
I'm just gonna leave it on loop all day then. Just hoping.
Please stream farm for me. I would appreciate that.
That's right. We're gonna help finance the full-length version just by streaming the short film.
So tight.
Hey, I'm all for it.
Thank you, Chelsea, so much for hanging out with us for a little bit.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys for having me. Thank you for being cinema lovers and keeping this shit alive during quarantine. It really means a lot.
Yeah, you'll have to come back when the feature's done.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Dude. I'll be back. Put that good stuff out
there. All right.
Bye.
We're the Plotaholics, ripping plots apart for you.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.